welcome to another episode of the Gods of Geek podcast. You probably noticed that I'm not Adam Cook, aka the Cookster, aka King of Dongs. But here's an here tonight. It's just a very intimate podcast in my bedroom. I'm joined by Mr. Adam Carroll.
Chris,
hello.
big shout out to you and all my Pringle supporters out there. You know what I mean? Like, as you can tell, it's me and you, because obviously the lads are just so, like, they're missing out, and they're spending their night tonight with a big load of Pringles and just getting their sandwiches on, and that's that.
And, I mean, it's quite personal. I shouldn't really say in public, but Nicola's been to a therapist this week due to the Pringle sandwich conversation.
Didn't go down quite well for her.
She struggled, Adam is also been off sick since the time, even though he knew it was coming. It's brought back a lot of feelings. So
I think it's because he went for the fucking paprika flavour. He shouldn't be going for the paprika flavour.
No, sour cream and chive.
It's sour cream, man.
Surely.
That's the way you work it,
I mean, I've yet to try it. I probably never will, but, each to their own, mate.
Nah, yeah, fair.
And, you came out here and poured your heart out about it.
And I can ask the questions.
Not many people would.
I'm being honest. There's listeners there who want to hear the truth of it all. So I'm setting the record straight here. Like, you gotta live life a little.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of people were quite comfortable with it. Some were quite angry about it, even full of rage. But
well, hey.
Oh yes, thank you. Rage 2. We're going to talk about games, obviously, because this is a gaming podcast. However, listener correspondence, as always, does feature some food-related questions, which we love. So it's going to be a good podcast. So, Rage 2. I'm reviewing it. Adam's played substantial amount because it's not very long. But anyway, let's just get into it. So, Rage 2 is finally out. Sequel to the original. I am disappointed.
Oh,
because of my original feelings. I think it kind of stems to the point that I've still yet to find a game, even though Devil May Cry was a 10, and I stand by that 100%. I haven't gone back to it. I haven't got a game this year that. And I'm sure we all haven't really. Have got a game that we're still playing. I'm still playing FIFA from last year. That's kind of how it is. I haven't got a game that I keep going back to and I keep chipping away at. Like, there's been open world games released. I haven't really played them. And this was the one that I really kind of wanted to be that game. I could just dip in and out, have a lot of fun with it, which I do. I'm not going to dispute that. But it's a very bland world. There's not. I don't want like an overwhelming amount of side missions ever in an open world game, but I just think it's very generic. I think the story's a bit poo.
The story is bomb. The story is bomb. Like,
that was the word I was looking for, mate. I was trying to impress you.
Yeah, it's not poo bomb. You were getting there.
Bomb poo. I'm close. And then
there's your title.
Yeah. Let's write that down. It's the guns and the kind of abilities you unlock as you play are really cool. Like, it feels like a Doom game. An Avalanche have just thrown in a few ideas to how to do the open world, but it feels very much like id Software have done the whole game and they've had an attempt at an open world and it just hasn't worked. And I don't know. I mean, like, what do you think, Adam? What's your overall opinion?
I've been super excited for Rage 2 because I'm a big fan of the first one. The whole open world thing was kind of, when it was shown off, I was in for it, even though we can all kind of say that we're a bit kind of drained from the open world experience in a way, especially coming off the back of like Days Gone and stuff now. And like, I didn't know how I was going to feel, but I thought Rage would be able to like hit that and just kind of like make it like just tons of fun, because any trailer that we saw and any gameplay that we saw leading up to release, it looked like a lot of fun, right? And then I remember seeing like a couple of like just videos on like closer to release, I suppose, and it just seemed like it was a lot tamer in the world. Now, like, I do get it. I do get the whole, it's a bit blind, but not to say the typical thing that everyone is saying, but it is kind of just how the setting is. I don't really know what is supposed to go on within this world. Like Mad Max was quite similar in terms of the world being a bit bland, going from point A to B, and like you have a checklist of stuff to tick off. I think for me personally, especially coming from Days Gone, and I'm not here to shit on that game, because I know there's a few people who are actually kind of enjoying that game, and that's great. But that game bored me so much, and I thought I could look past the whole, like, boring, not look past the boring side of it, you can't look past the boring side of a game, but, do you know, I thought I could just see a bit more fun in it. Before I played Rage, I was hoping that, like, look, if the gameplay is fun and all that, then I think I'm going to just enjoy this for what it is, because that is really what I think a lot of people are going to be here for, is just the bombasticness of it all, the really kind of like cool guns, how it feels, and then just driving around vehicles. And if I'm honest, Chris, like for what I've played, I'm kind of getting it. I'm getting that, and I'm kind of just happy with it. As I said, yes, the story is like poo bum or bum poo, whatever you want to call it. It is that, and I always go into these games kind of going, all right, here we go, story. And I listen to the characters and I just start falling off, and I'm like, all right, I'm bored. Just let me just shoot things now.
They're just shit though. Like the characters are dull and they're overacting. Like games, we know games can have a great cast. Like they can be unknowns. There could be fairly well-known voice actors. But when a game gets it right, it changes it. It makes it a hell of a lot better. And I just think it's kind of like the most generic kind of angry kind of randoms in the world, like what's that, the Goon Squad. You got them, and then depending on who you pick, like I picked the bloke. I've not picked the woman yet, but that's the most boring human being alive, and they're just I don't know.
It's funny you say that, because when you get the choice of picking the male or female character, I was going back and forth between the two of them, and I was kind of just listening. Like they say certain bits of audio as you're deciding, you know, and I was kind of there for about 30 seconds going, will I go? And then the girl said something, and I was like, oh yeah, and then the guy said something, and I goes, oh, I'm being the girl character, because
I wish
that fella just sounds so fucking bland, and I've heard this kind of voice a million times, and I'm not up for this in this game right now. Like it is true, like you get to a character and it looks a bit weird, you know, there's some really odd character in the game that I think there's an article going around about, like, I don't know, he has some fucking weird thing on him, some weird baby or something. Like it's the most bizarre thing, and I think when you have that, you're going to go on, all right, but then just the dialogue is just so boring that it's almost predictable to have this kind of dialogue in this kind of game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then it's not to excuse it, because I just think it's getting to that stage in gaming where this isn't cool anymore. We need a story. We want to care for all characters in video games, along with just having great gameplay. And like the thing is, the game just gets going fast enough for me. Now I know people can say like, oh, but you just go around and you get to an area and then you have to find those like loot boxes, which are oddly difficult to find sometimes, and that's kind of frustrating because it takes you out of the game in a way. But I'm kind of just up for it right now, because there's nothing else that's really, like, as we were all saying last week, like, we're all in this kind of gaming funk that like nothing's really kind of working, and right now there is fun to be had when I'm playing Rage. I'm just like, the guns feel great, it has all that. Like, I've heard some people criticise the driving and stuff. I'm not finding any problem with the driving, if I'm honest. I think it's like, it's very similar to like how the Batmobile feels in Arkham Knight, like, and the Mad Max game and stuff like that. So I'm kind of like, I don't know, there's nothing new about it, but there's nothing shit about it either. But like, I think it's just a lot of fun. I like the colours of it, and right now it's just kind of working for me. And the abilities are crazy. There's tons to unlock. Like, there's tons of like mad skills. Like there's this crazy ground pound kind of thing, and like you can do it from such heights and everything. And it's hilarious, because I think like when you upgrade it to like a certain part, if you do it, it like explodes the enemies. Like, there's some amount of like body parts just exploding on the screen. And I just laughed at it because it's doing what, as you said at the beginning, what Doom does. Like, it just feels like Doom in a way. Maybe if it was just more linear, that would have been maybe tell the bit. But like, man, it's hard to tell because people could then say, "Oh, it's just so fucking linear. Like, it's just you just keep going straight all the time." But you just don't know what people want. I really think that Rage 2 is just a game that's come out at a time, and I think it's the right time because there's nothing really else around right now, and if you play it, you're going to know straight away whether you're going to enjoy it or not, and whether you're in the form for it. But yeah, like I can totally see what you're saying. Now you just said there that it's pretty short. So like, have you finished the main story and stuff?
I'm almost. I know. Okay. I know that it's coming to a head. If you know what I mean, you can kind of tell.
Yeah.
But like, when it comes to you were saying about like it, like people complain if it's linear and then it's an open world, but people complain that it's an open world. I think my problem is when a game says it's an open world, I expect the travelling between missions to give me something else. So I enjoy pottering around in open world games. When I'm not reviewing an open world game, I enjoy, because you kind of have to just blast through it, don't you? You don't get a lot of time to do everything. But when I'm playing an open world game, I like to potter about. I like to go and explore. And there's like with Fallout 3 is the perfect example of what I want out of an open world game. You've got your main missions, then you literally potter around, find a building, go in, and there's kind of a story within a story, or there's just something random in there. I just enjoy finding things, and what this does, it's just a lot of desert and a lot of grey and beige and brown, and the only thing that really happens is you get like guys trying to attack you, and that's kind of it. There's nothing really beyond that, and the travelling between places. I get this fast travel, right, but I don't always like to fast travel, and I like to handle the car, which isn't. There's not a problem with it at all. Like, the driving's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. And I get that there are things to do, but it's very much go to X, take out everyone, return back to your quest giver, go back out and do something else. I mean, there are certain things that do differ. There are missions that change slightly, but I would honestly, I'd be quite happy if it was just a linear Doom game, but expanded on a lot. Like, I don't just want Doom in a post-apocalyptic world. I want that to be expanded, and I guess I'll play Doom 2 if I want that. You know,
yeah.
But
like
I think it should just have been the new id Software game rather than this whole Meeting of the Minds, because it doesn't really feel like it's not working for me. And that's just me. Like, I know people enjoy it, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I am enjoying parts of it, but I think a lot of it is very repetitive.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to just go from point A to B. It's like the open world necessitates that gap between missions. There's nothing else there. It's just it makes the game a bit longer because you get to travel. But yeah, I don't know.
See, I know what you mean, and I do agree. Like, there is times when I am playing it that I'm like, I wonder if they just went down this linear route, would it be like received in a more positive light, I guess. But I think overall it's not doing anything new. I just think I think a lot of people expect more now in all games, and I don't know, maybe if some people who've played the first Rage are kind of just like understanding like what they're kind of in for, what they're looking forward to, or even just Doom fans as well. But then you have Doom Eternal coming out, you know, so it's hard to tell, because like there was a point even when I first came to, like, say your market town area, you know, like gates open, you come in and you have all these NPCs to chat to and like vendors to buy stuff off of. Like, immediately in my head I just went, I don't want to fucking do this. I just don't want to be here now. I want to just be running around and shooting stuff. Like, that is literally what I come here to play Rage for. Like, especially when you just know how the story is going. When you're 4 or 5 hours in or something, you kind of know what way it is and how it feels and how what characters are. So when you get to these markets, you're like, I don't want to. They give you the option to go up and just have a little chat, and you're like, I don't give a shit really. It's bad to say, but they do focus a lot on just the gameplay of you and the weapons and what you can do vehicle-wise and stuff like that. So that's all it really is. Like, it's not reinventing the wheel in any way at all. But I think there's fun to play. Like, if this, I would still definitely say that get this, if you were going to try and get this or attempting going out to get this on full price, then I would say yes. I'd be like, definitely get it if you know what you're in for and you just want to just blow shit up. Because there is some cool stuff, by the way, that we haven't mentioned, and like things like you got this focus ability where, like, if you take on a load of enemies or whatever, you can hold down L1 or whatever, and it will focus your left hand on like a barrel to explode it, and that's kind of fun when you're in the middle of all this like manic like battle, because they do throw you into that quite a bit. Like, there is like 20 enemies at once, and you can definitely take them down because every time you kill an enemy, like, health comes out of them and stuff. You know, there's just fucking colour flying everywhere. And I think that's just what it is. It's just very fast, very frantic and violent. But yeah,
I just think I expected more Avalanche input, because, like, ignoring Just Cause 4, which wasn't great, Just Cause 3 and 2 were phenomenal. Like, their worlds were fantastic, and I don't want like fully detailed, huge towns and cities to explore. I just like, even if it was like in one post-apocalyptic city, and it was kind of contained, but there was room to move. Yeah. So it was like an Uncharted game, like Uncharted 4, where there's a path, but it's very open. So there's kind of different ways to get there. I don't know. I don't want to be negative, because I don't think it's terrible at all. But like, I do think there's a lot there and a lot of fun to be had. Yeah. But I didn't expect it to be the way it is. But I haven't finished it yet, so we'll see.
Think, like honestly, I think we're just getting to the stage now in video games where if you are releasing like a game straight up like Rage, like an open world first person shooter, like, if there isn't going to be a heavy like focus on online, you can't, like, the single player has to carry a good story. It just has to, like, and I think shooters are just needing a lot more of that now. Like, all games.
I think you're right. Yeah. I mean, sorry, mate. Go on.
No, I just like a lot of games are doing that. Like, it's just the open world and having you just spend 40 to 50 hours fucking around and like go in here and just pick up the same thing over and over again, or do this. It's not for everyone anymore, and people don't have the time, and unless, like, the only way you're going to do that is if you really fucking care about the story. Like, that is what it's about. Like, you don't, like, stories can't be forgotten about. I'm not saying every game is that, but this is an example. This is a prime example that if the gameplay was just average, I wouldn't bother my ass with this game. Like, if the gameplay wasn't as fun as it is, but like, I couldn't give two shits about the story at all, and that's just not good enough. Like, it's you know, when you're creating these quirky characters, I want to care about them, and that's straight up where I think a lot of people are at now.
I mean, I think one of the best first person games in recent years to nail the story and the world, minus the ending, was Far Cry 5. Like, because I had so much fun in that world, but I also gave a shit about the story, and that wasn't a huge 50-hour game. You know, that was like 20 to 30 hours, I think. But that was ace. Yeah, that had the drop-in co-op was great as well. I played a lot with Adam, and it was brilliant fun. And then I still got to, if I wanted to, do the single player on my own. I just think you're right. Games have brought us to a certain expectation now, and that isn't our fault. That's the quality of the game's coming out.
Yeah, you just know what you can get. Like, we know what we can get. We've been through absolutely incredibly good story-driven games. Like, just to throw in another shooter, for example, like I'll always say, like Titanfall 2. That's just fucking too short. Like, that's just an amazing single player game that's just unfortunately too short. Like, and when I say too short, I think it's only like 5-6 hours long, maybe.
Yeah,
like, I just would love 10, and I'd be like, amazing. I still think it's one of the best, but it's just so unfortunate that we don't get this kind of full on meaty. Like, call me out, I could be completely wrong, but it's just really weird how this is just a formula that happens. You kind of almost expect it, I don't think a lot of people were going into Rage 2 going, I'd say the story is going to be fucking edge of your seats kind of material, I'd say. I don't think anyone was thinking that. But then, why can't we? Why can't we think that kind of...
I don't think it has to be the same kind of calibre as, The Last of Us or The Witcher or games like God of War.
But why can't it be?
No, there's exactly, yeah. But like with Rage 2, there's no indication that it's going to be that calibre. But however, it's like very lazy writing. It's the most generic thing. It's just a typical story. This story had been done 10 years ago. It's the same kind of shit, the same cliches, the same kind of victims that there should be a certain element to this that is better than it is, and it really isn't. Like, and there are tons of games coming out every month with a great story, and it helps to make a game better. It doesn't. It's either a case of do you want gameplay or do you want story, but you should be able to have both.
It should be.
There's no reason why that can't be, and the fact that the characters are just so poorly written and they're kind of just walking cliches. There's just nothing about them. There's your typical surly mechanic. You've got your different the different parts. I don't want to say because it's part of the story, but the different kind of heads of the people you go to see. Like the daggers. They all follow typical paths and the kind of tropes of where they are and what their reason is for why they're doing what they are. It's just it was done in Fallout 3.
There's just funny kind of like weird interactions. Like when you do something for a character, like, and you complete the mission, whatever, and you have to just go back to this character. It's kind of funny. I don't know if you've had this situation, but they're like they're talking to you like on whatever, right? And they're like, come back here and meet me, and literally you're just reaching a door and you open it and he's right there. And
that happened far too much.
Like, it happens a load, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It's just, we're not fucking game designers. But like, we play enough games to see these kind of weird things that you kind of go, why is that the case? Like, look, we can keep going over. Gaming is just in a weird place now of seeing what is out there and what can be done. And I don't want to say that nobody should ignore this kind of game, because there's people out there who would be like, I just want to fucking, I don't have time to play a lot of games. I just want a game that I can come home to after my job and just go crazy in. And I'd be like, Rage 2, go and get that stuff. That's the way I'd be thinking. But for us, we just can see this kind of thing and we're just kind of like, it mightn't do it for us, but there's some people out there. But man, I still love it. However, I did quickly just want to say that I bought the deluxe edition of it, and it came with the fucking the wing stick, do you know?
Oh right, yeah.
And it looks like an absolute crock of shit. Like, Jesus, it's like made of foam, right? But like the fun part about it is you can press the button in the center and it just all pops open. And that's quite satisfying to do. But when you get the instructions, like, it tells you what to do with it. It says you can fucking throw it around in your house.
What?
Yeah. Like, Imagine if I give that to my 8-year-old nephew, I'm like, yeah, there you go, throw that around Nen's house there. That'd be fucking, that'd be war. Like, they'll just blow things everywhere. But I've yet to actually try it. Apparently it comes
you need
back
to go outside
and
you just try it, man, and film it.
but man, like I'm 30 years old. Can I really go outside with a fucking Rage 2 wing stick and be throwing around the place on my lonesome?
Yeah, as long as you record it, mate. I want to watch that. We'll put it on the website. It'd be amazing.
I wonder, can I do it while eating a Pringles sandwich at the same time?
Don't eat the Pringles sandwich on camera. As long as that's off camera, mate, fucking go for it. Have a blast, but no one wants to see that shit.
As soon as it goes to me, I'll just have the browser's logo over my mouth.
Oh, man, we're onto something. Well, we've been playing a couple of other games as well. Not as much as Rage 2, but Team Sonic Racing, we've both been playing that.
Yes.
Now, I kind of like this. I think it's quite cool. I think it's different. I mean, it shouldn't... every kart game will always be compared mainly to Mario Kart or Crash Team Racing.
Challenge.
Nothing's ever compared to Street Racer, which I find shocking. Because Street Racer is amazing. Speed Freaks.
Yeah.
Oh, I never played Speed Freaks.
Have you heard of Speed Freaks? PS1, man, it's a good old game.
No, I think I missed that.
Yeah.
But anyway. That's the four that's the 4 kart races that have ever existed. But Team Sonic Racing, yeah, I mean, I like it. I like the handling's quite good. I think the drift could do a bit of tightening because when you play, like we talk about Double Dash a lot because it's like our favourite because it's incredible, and like when you've been playing for hours and weeks and months and whatnot, you've got that drift down to a T. Like you know exactly what part of the corner to hit to drift right the whole way around it to then drift the other way around the next corner. You know that course off the top of your head. So the drift's quite loose, and I found myself struggling around some corners, and I was kind of adapting the same mentality as I did when I played Mario Kart. So it doesn't work the same. Well, that's a minor thing because I'm not going to be playing like hours of this game. But I like the kind of concept behind it, the fact that it's for friends. It's to play with friends, and like go and read Chris Hyde's review because it's very well written, and it details this a lot better than I could ever do. And plus, he's played a lot more. But the way you kind of encourage to help out your teammates, I think, is very good, and it's very smart. Like with the trail line you leave behind you, that kind of stuff, and
to give you the extra boost and stuff, and trading or giving each other weapons. Yeah,
exactly. I think it's got some good ideas to it, and I think, I mean, I can't remember Mario Kart ever doing that because even in Double Dash, it was only
like in terms of those mechanics, like it's definitely fresh.
Yeah.
My only thing is here, like, and I'm not trying to say, like, it's not just comparing it to Mario Kart, but you know what I mean? At the end of the day, if I'm going to be in a room full with my, like, friends and stuff, and we're, like, going to play some kart game, it's going to be Mario Kart, and it's not it's not to shit on this, like, you know, because I do think the Sonic All-Stars Transformed, is that the one that came out for the Wii U? That kart one.
Yes, I think so.
That was brilliant, and I was really surprised by how good that was. You're dead right with the drifting, man. I can't get my head around it. It's really slow or heavy or something.
Yeah,
and it's hard to get that kind of like flow going. That's just me anyway, because once again, I'm just so used to Mario Kart. But the whole speed trail and stuff it's really cool. Some of the courses are interesting. Working as a team is as you said, really fun. I gotta say, man, it has one of the worst songs ever as an intro. Like, do you know what? Musically, it's fine, and then that dude starts singing. And you're like, holy Jesus. It's bad news. It's bad news. Like, I was kind of like, oh, this is a bit of a tune. And your man comes in like, oh, God. And then it's just the dialogue. The dialogue, once again, with Sonic and stuff, man. Sonic, like, I just don't really like him. I don't know why they ever gave him a voice. Because it's just irritating. It's really cheesy. It's really corny. And I'm not like, it's not like I don't want Sonic to be like, all right, let's fucking do this. Like, I don't want him talking that way, do you know? But at the same time, it's just a bit like, oh, okay, all right, Sonic. It's weird. It's just weird. It's something that I'm not really that into. But like, I think this game is coming out at like $39.99 or something like that. You know, I think it's pretty cheap. Like, that's well worth it. Like, there's fun to be had, and I think a lot of like younger kids and stuff will really enjoy it, because it's really colourful. I think the presentation is cool, and there's a lot of content. There's a lot of content in here, and you got like even a kind of a story mode kind of thing. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun, but
the courses are quite cool as well. Some of the designs are really good, and they kind of hark back to, you know, the familiar kind of things from previous games and stuff. So there's a lot of fun to be had, like you said. And you know, if you're familiar playing Mario Kart with friends, but this kind of lets you play together, and it's worth it.
It's just so weird when you start, like, because look, I've put in so many hours of my life into Double Dash, but like, honestly, this year alone, I think my most played game has been Mario Kart 8. Like, I have played so many hours of that game now, right? That when I started Sonic, and you're like, holy shit, the track. Like, where am I going? What is happening? What did I pick up? Am I even winning? Like, what is going on? Like, it's just so hard, because you get so invested in something like Mario Kart that like, and I'm sure the same thing will probably happen when Crash Team Racing comes out, because I remember playing that quite a bit, but I can't remember any of it. But look, it's another good Sonic racing game, and that's just what it is. And I think there's some fresh ideas that I think are definitely worth like people's attention and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. The other game, I mean, I've played 20 minutes of this, so I haven't got a massive opinion on it. But we have kind of dabbled with Darkwood, which Gaz reviewed. Gaz, again, isn't here. He's in his caravan this week. We sent him there. He was being naughty. But it's a a top-down survival horror game, right? That's kind of the crux of it. And yeah, that's like, literally all figured out.
Like, okay, so top-down, it's full-blown horror. Like, when I started this game, I was 100% in. I was like, this is definitely my bag. I put on headphones. The sound design immediately blew me away. The sound is scary. It is just, the atmosphere is nailed, especially for like just how this game looks. And even to talk about how the visuals are, they look brilliant when you're playing it with, like, in a dark room. Like, you have to play this game with lights off, because to take full advantage of just the atmosphere. But it just feels really good. Like, there's a lot of weight to moving the character. There's a lot of like interacting with like a lot of stuff in different areas of the different rooms and stuff like that. There's a lot of picking up items and managing stuff, and a lot of it's based around like pointing your light in like the direction, and it'll only show you then what's ahead. Obviously, do you know, it's really focused on the dark. No, as I said, early stages, yes. I've heard that this game is it's a lot longer than you'd think. So I'm just looking, like, it's now come out on Switch. I started on the PS4, and I'm kind of contemplating on getting it for the Switch.
Yes.
I just think it's going to be one of those kind of games that I'd like to play on the go.
Touchscreen, like to pick up the arms and stuff, because I struggled. I found that was a bit awkward how that worked, but I kind of think if that'd be dead handy, but probably not.
But there was some like early stage game, and I won't give anything away, but like I came across an NPC, say, and I was just kind of like, what the fuck? Like, and I read something, and he kind of says, the main character will say something like, oh, I should probably do this. And I'm like, yeah, but I have nothing to do this with. And then I kind of went on a bit, got something, and then I went back and did what I thought I should do. And it happened, and it was just really like I know that's really vague, but for anybody that has played the opening like half an hour of the game, you know what I mean. It was just kind of like, ooh, that's a bit spooky, like just doing that, you know. And I'm very keen to see where it goes, because normally this kind of survival game, like I thought this was going to be, now I could be wrong, but if you die in this game, do you go back to the beginning?
I think, actually, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I don't know.
Because I haven't died yet, and I heard this game is pretty hard, because it says that even before you begin. If I fucking die and I go back to the beginning, I could be talking about this game very differently. Just saying that now, because I don't like that kind of shit, bar Dead Cells. Dead Cells was the only one that clicked with me. I don't like the whole, you've done all this and now you're dead and start it all again. I don't have time for it. And this seems like it has a really cool thing going for itself. So I hope that when I die, I just start at a checkpoint and then I'll be lifting.
Maybe fill us in next week if you've managed to. Yeah,
I think I'm going to definitely go for the Switch, man.
Yeah, go for it, mate. So there's your games chatter. There's a bit in the questions. So thank you to everyone, because there's quite a few. We've not managed to fit them all on, but we'll go for as many as we can. So Thomas at LlamaFluff42 asks, as the PS4 and Xbox One begin to wane and make way for the shiny next year, what are your highlights from this gen?
Oh,
well, good question. I'm going left field here, right?
Ooh,
but my bar God of War
and
the obvious games, one of my favourite games from this gen was Mirror's Edge Catalyst.
What? That's insane!
And I absolutely adored that game.
Should I go back to that game? Man, I played an hour and a half of it and I thought it was fucking bum poo.
Right, well, this is the thing, like, it's what we're talking about with games like, I'm not a massive fan of Rage 2, but someone might play that and think it's the best game this gen. That's why games could be so great. The divisiveness of them, I think that's fantastic. But for me, I adored it. I don't know. I just love that. It's the only. It's technically an open world game. It's not huge, but it's the only open world game where I've never fast travelled. I literally ran everywhere. I loved the movement so much, and the story wasn't amazing, but it was enough to keep me occupied, and the kind of the way it looked and the cleanliness and the whites and the very very kind of clean palette. I absolutely loved it. And also, when you went back to your base, you could put the jukebox on, and a song specifically written for Mirror's Edge by Churches played, which is a great song.
Yeah, I actually heard that song.
Yeah, it's called Warning Sign. It's fantastic. But like, I never thought I would class that in one of my favourite. It's still my top 10 of the gen, definitely. I can't like Shadow of War again, another one.
I'd put that in there too.
God of War. The chance to play The Last of Us again when the PS3 died, and I wasn't sure.
Would it be counted? Would it be counted though?
Yeah, because the fact that I thought it was just going to die with the PS3.
Yeah,
they enhanced it and included the Left Behind DLC, which is a jam. So yeah, I think they're probably my main ones. What about you, mate?
I'll be going probably most definitely The Witcher 3, Dying Light, Arkham Knight,
game.
Shadow of War as well. Gotta say Phantom Pain. Do you know, it was just I fucking loved it. I love it. I just love Metal Gear Solid anyway. There's probably somebody screaming now saying please say this game. Obviously God of War. There's been so many. Oh Jesus, I'm glad I didn't forget Uncharted 4. Like Uncharted 4. Like that game.
Yeah.
That game. Like I fucking played it and finished it 4 times. I love the shit out of it.
Yep, fantastic.
Yeah, like there's been so many great ones. Like I don't know what's going to happen next. But it's been some console already with like amazing titles.
Yeah. I noticed you didn't really mention the Xbox. I feel bad because...
Well, I don't have a fucking Xbox yet, so that's that. It's been going on for nearly 7 years now, so that can off and off.
Yeah,
release these consoles every fucking hour, so...
Yeah, fucking it's their fault. Yeah. Next question from Mark Duncliffe, at Duncliffe on Twitter. On a night out, what's your drink of choice? Wait to hear about how Adam's Oaks gets a half pint of Bulmers and a half pint of Guinness Murphy's Beamish combo. No. Or a pint of the drip tray contents.
I tell you what, right, I saw that and I went, that's quite interesting. But if you were to do that combo, you would want to be bringing at least 6 rolls of Kleenex toilet paper with you.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be in a bad... Bulmers alone is just an absolute catastrophe on my stomach. Cider can just go away. But you'd be kind of wondering how it'd blend with a stout or something like that. I may have to try it. I may be dead after it though. But
I mean, reading this, I've always wanted to... I reckon Jameson's would be quite nice in this beer that we've got. It's not specifically for Derby, but I've never seen it anywhere else. It's called Devil's Backbone. It's one of the nicest. It's dead hoppy, not too hoppy. It's a really nice ale, and I reckon a bit of Jameson's and that might be quite nice. I'll have to try it. Yeah. What drink do you normally go for?
It's always Guinness. I always go for Guinness, and I always make the mistake, if you're out, whatever, and you might go to a bar, and it's pretty civil, and you can get to the bar nice and easy, and you're cool, Guinness, this is great. And then you move on to the next bar, and that bar is way fucking busier, but I still have that taste of Guinness in my mouth, but I'm that prick who's just with loads of people trying to get to the bar. I'm
the Guinness.
I'm literally fucking Jamie Lannister trying to get in, waving my hand, going... Go on, Guinness, please. And then the barman or whoever will just be all right, what's going on? And I go, Guinness. And you can just tell he's just oh, for fuck's sake, a Guinness. Because it takes about 5 minutes of their time, do you know what I mean? Rather than getting a big dirty fucking cider or something.
Yeah.
But,
do you want to know what I drink, Adam? I drink a Guinness too.
Oh, hi! Fucking wait, I never knew this.
I adore Guinness, mate.
It's banging.
It's like a meal and a drink. So
apparently it's the same calories as a roast dinner.
Really?
That's what I heard. Do you know?
Wow. No, I love, especially we've because I work in a cinema, we've got this
Guinness
thing. We've not got Guinness on tap anymore. We used to, but no one really had it. But there's this machine that shakes the can dead fast, and it provides you put a can of Guinness on it, it shakes it, and then you pour it, and it's from a draft. It's amazing. Jesus
Christ! It sounds like you're pulling. Do you remember that episode of The Simpsons where Bart does that April Fool's joke on Homer?
One of the funniest moments of The Simpsons. That still makes me piss myself.
Yeah, you do that to all the kids that come in. Pint of Guinness, yeah, or get a Guinness for the child. Yeah, 2 seconds.
Yeah, blow the fucking head off. No, but yeah, Guinness is a top drink.
Yeah, it's really good.
Thomas again. What chocolate or sweets from yesteryear would you resurrect if you could? I really miss Golden Cups and Mintolas. I know what none of those are.
What the hell is a Mintola?
And I feel like I think Tom's a similar age to me.
Yeah, I never heard of a Mintola. I'd give it a shot. I'd like to know what that is.
I would, yeah. We all have a look. I would say, I can't remember what they were called, but they looked like birds' nests, and they were Cadbury's chocolate. And they had
they look like birds' nests.
They looked like a mini bird's nest, and they had a mini egg in. They were really nice. Or
Are you sure you weren't just up a fucking tree looking at a fucking bird and trying to take their eggs?
These are legit. Honestly, they exist. I need to find out what the name it is, and I'll show you. But they were nice. Spirals, which were like twirls, but bit more sturdy, bit more better constructed.
Yeah, nice. Man, that's a different... that situation is annoying, the crumbly thing, do you know?
Yeah. Always gets in your beard, no matter how careful you try and be.
Stop, I always say it. I have had so many times where I scratch my face and a fucking Cocoa Pop or something will come out of it. Do you know what? Do you remember Marble?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
That was good stuff. The middle of that was like that praline nonsense, and it was tasty stuff.
Oh, they
but
were nice.
I don't understand why they ever take these chocolate bars off. Like, I don't know why they go away. Like, it's like they should. I want an explanation, because I'm like, what have you been giving me all this time that you've just secretly taken away? Like,
we haven't noticed.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, and it's weird because they take them away from certain countries. Like, for an like, do you know fries chocolate cream and stuff?
Yes, yeah.
So like, whenever I'm in London, I'll always find the orange one, no bother. But man, it's like, if I'm in London, if I'm in London, I find no bother. If I'm in Ireland, no way can I find them. Impossible. Drives me up the wall. Do you know what I mean?
I'd love there to be like a little shop somewhere, like, that just stocks all old chocolate, and that Cadbury secretly make them, but not a lot. Like, I imagine going to Cadbury's World. I need to go there and see if these kind of things still exist.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm hungry now. Did you go with one? Were you going with the marbles?
I go with marble for now. Yeah, that's what I can think of. I would have said Whisper Gold, but I found a Whisper Gold 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they're still bagging around.
I was the same with. I lost my mind.
I was the same with Caramax until I realised they were still doing them. Caramax are amazing.
Yeah, I bet you if Gary was here, I know he'd say something completely caravan appropriate.
He'd have like just dairy milk, like not in terms of like his favourite chocolate. I can imagine Gary likes dairy milk because he likes vanilla ice cream. It'd be dairy milk.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, guys. I don't think it's boring at all. I just love how your mind works. It's fascinating. It's like, it reminds me of like Carl Pilkington. What Carl Pilkington is to Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant.
Yeah,
it'll end up with Gary getting like going off on like it'll become this sensation, and he'll just have his own career where we explore his mind and test his boundaries. And
I'd watch it.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good show.
HBO will probably pick it up.
Maybe we could do this on the site. I don't know. Anyway, my mind's running away with me. David Ayres at David Ayres _.
Hello, David.
Hello, David. You have the power to erase a sequel. What is it? It could be anything you want.
Fuck it.
Probably Matrix Reloaded and the fucking sequel to that. I think The Matrix was perfection, and then they fucking destroyed it by trying to explain it all. So potentially that.
It's a hard one to think of.
I'm not going to be a dick and be like the prequels to Star Wars, because they had moments. They had their moments.
Do you know
not many?
I might cause anger here. It's not like, it's hard to think of follow-ups and stuff, whatever, right now anyway. But one that comes to my head where I went, can't believe how shit that was. Actually, I have it, but I'll tell you this one anyway. X-Men Apocalypse was tragic, I thought.
Oh man, yeah,
that was tragic.
Good one.
I couldn't believe how bad it was. I'm gonna have to say that I came out of the movies very, very annoyed with Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
Now, I know there's some people who might defend it. I have sat down. I've went to the movie. I watched it. I got the Blu-ray. I watched the extended fucking whatever minutes were in it, and I couldn't tell any of them. That movie is just terrible. I just don't like it at all. It's really boring. It's really long, and I just don't care about it. That can go away. When it comes to games are difficult because I don't know. Like as of right now, even though I'm not a fan of the series, not that I'm not a fan of the series, I've yet to play the first in the series, but like I would personally have said The Last Guardian, because I thought that was just bad. That was just a bad game. And I know I hurt people out there, but then I'm playing this series arseways, because I played that first, and then I played Shadow of the Colossus, the remake, and now I'm just waiting for like Ico to come out. Like Shadow, I adore Shadow. That was amazing. But like Last Guardian, I'm sorry, like, but I don't know how like fans can really like go, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted, because that game's a pain to play.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
So
no, I completely agree.
Video games are just difficult to pick from there. Do you know?
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. Right, next question. Mark Duncliffe again. What's your earliest gaming memory? For what it's worth, mine is playing Microsoft Decathlon on my uncle's Apple II in the mid-80s, and then playing a game called Blagger on my C64, the Commodore 64, not long after.
Nice.
Similar kind of thing for me. I was playing on my dad's Spectrum ZX, playing a game called Repton, which was just shit. But like, it was playing with my dad, and it was cool. Like, that was my introduction to video games. It was playing that and Platoon, which was on the Spectrum, and you had this like pad that you put over the keyboards, and it had like the controls for a helicopter on it, which essentially you could just not have that on and press return or up, down, left, right, or whatever. Yeah. But it just made it feel like this something I've never experienced before. So yeah, playing with my Spectrum with my dad was probably mine.
Nice. Like, I have about 2 or 3 that just immediately come to mind. I may have said this before, but I do remember, like, my first ever console was the Sega Master System 2. Like, turning that on without a cartridge and getting Alex Kidd just installed inside it without being told that was just fucking utterly mind-blowing. Like, yeah. I couldn't believe that there was this game in this console that I did not know about until, like, I don't know, if a year or 2 later or something like that. And it was actually a really enjoyable game too. So that was one. I do remember I had this neighbour who, like, I could never fucking get like all the games on release day because I just wasn't. My parents were like, "You earned that now through working," and I'm like, "Oh, what? I'm fucking 4. What job can I get?" But like later on, I remember my neighbour used to get like kind of a lot of games like there and then. Like, he was pretty lucky in that sense, but I remember him having Ocarina of Time on release day, and I was in his house and he put it on, and I just remember in my head going, "Oh my god, this is absolutely ridiculous." That was the first time I've ever seen Zelda, like the whole lot. It came in the gold cartridge and everything for the N64. I was blown away. But there's so many things like that. Like, I always think that the memories from back then, they're always they're just I all go back to the games. Like, you probably all like Final Fantasy 7, and I was only like talking to like my friend the other night, and we were talking about back in the day when you literally would play every game. Like, I wasn't somebody who just played shooters or RPGs. I would play fucking every single game that I could get my hands on. I would try. Like, my cousin had like a Sega Mega Drive, and I remember playing like The Lion King and Toe Jam and Earl and all sorts. Like, so these are all memories that all go into one, into like a massive introduction of video games. You know, like I always say, man, I'd love to get the whole crew of like God's Geek together for kind of a lengthy podcast about just games like that from back in the day, early memories, and, you know, kind of lighting kind of up our minds and stuff again of, oh yeah, that kind of game. Jeez, I remember, like, you know, because there's certain occasions someone would say a name of a game and you go, what? I don't remember that at all. You'd search online and immediately that art cover would just bring it all back, and you go, I do remember seeing that. So many things like that I'd love to discuss, but they're the best conversations, man. Yeah,
no, that's true, man. Okay, so Lyle Carr at Adam's favourite Twitter handle, Fish Chips Whips.
Oh, I love it.
If your favourite food was a game, what would that game be?
If my favourite food was a game, so what? Is he saying the game, the food that's in the game, or is it just like, all of a sudden I like to eat Uncharted 4, just physical copies of that game?
If your favourite food was a game, what would it be? So if my favourite food is lasagna, so what kind of game would lasagna be?
How the hell are you supposed to tell that? What kind of game is lasagna? Right. Like, it just reminds me of Sweet and Sour. Brilliant. Like, Rage 2, Shepherd's Pie.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I think lasagna would be a puzzle platformer. There you go.
Why is that? Hang on, no. We can't just go, there you go. You got to explain lasagna puzzle platformer. What are you saying? So there's a bit of layering, a bit of getting up with the lasagna. Like, you know, you got your stages.
Yeah. Like, there's difficulty spikes when you get to a part of the lasagna that it's kind of cooked too much and it's a bit tough to rip open. Like when you put your sheets in, and if they haven't been cooked properly, they still they kind of become quite tough to open. So you've got your difficulty spikes.
That sounds like Dark Souls.
I'm trying here, mate. All right then. No, because lasagna's not as hard as Dark Souls. If you're comparing Dark Souls to a food, it'd be a really awkward piece of steak. Chewing steak that won't break in your mouth is the worst experience. Like I had steak the other day and it wouldn't break. I was trying to chew it and split it in half, and it was a big piece of steak that I put in. Now, fair enough, it was my fault.
I just see your face with the whole sirloin steak just hanging, and you're just going for it.
I was going for it, and I didn't want to give up on it. But then because it was breaking up, but it wasn't like separating, it was starting to go down my throat, and I thought, if I swallow this, I'm going to choke. So I had to use my tongue to get it from the back of my throat back into my mouth, so I could keep working at it. I was going out for about 5 minutes before I spat it out. That's Dark Souls.
That's Dark Souls. It's a big fucking chewy steak.
It is, yeah. Man.
Then I don't know, like I don't know what's fucking what. Like I'm kind of thrown off now. Like I'm kind of going, all right, Super Mario. Super Mario is a Pringles sandwich. Boom. There we go.
God, I fucking don't want to talk about Pringle sandwiches this week. I survived to tell the tale this week, but I'm struggling. It's fucking grim. Right, last question from Darren on Twitter at Rotten. With Adam practicing regurgitation, therefore saving himself a fortune in the future on baby food, what habit or unusual approach had ended up being a time and or money saver for you? That's a really good question, to be fair. Let's have a think.
So
like something weird that you do, but it's safe. Like that money saver advert where the guy who hires a costume for a party and then he's wearing it doing the lawn the next day.
Yeah. Wouldn't go to that much effort. But you know, I suppose it comes down to how just like in tune you are in a way, I guess. Like I know people who fucking repeat the same teabag and stuff. Like that's just desperate. Like that's just like a teabag can't cost that much.
No.
Like, you know,
I mean, I've got basic things like what I'm sure most people do is when you've got like a little bit of shower gel left, you fill the bottle. When you run out of shower gel and you fill the bottle up and shake it around, it gives you a bit more lava.
Yeah, but that gives you serious mileage because you're just there kind of going. you kind of like in the shower. You go, oh, I can see a bubble. One bubble. That's good for another week.
Yeah, exactly.
Fill it back up again. Oh, Jesus, look, there's even suds. Yeah, I think that a lot of people would do that. But then, like, I don't know. Like, everything is kind of disgusting in that sense, isn't it? If you're like to think of like, I'm not really. I suppose like money saving, like in a way. Like the job I have, like I get my lunch in work. Like a lot of people, like there's some people who get like their lunch in workplaces. That would save money. Do you know what I mean? That's probably the most like normal-esque one.
Yeah, there you go.
But like, do you know, I might just stick to my regurgitating. Do you know?
Yeah. On the our Twitter, I asked the question about like asking for questions, and no one asked whether you would eat your cornflakes with Branston pickle and oysters. However, Branston pickle tweeted us and said that sounds absolutely spiffing. So
I know. Go on, Branston.
Yeah, fair play to you, Branston pickles. We do love a bit of Branston pickle.
I'm a big fan.
But would you eat that? Because I want to know.
What? So Branston pickle and
you don't eat oysters, though, do you? Because we've had this.
Fucking don't go near oysters.
All right. What about Branston pickle on cornflakes then?
I'd give it a shot.
I think you would.
I'd definitely give it a shot. Like I don't know. I'm a big fan of Branston pickle, the chunky one. It's good stuff.
Right. So this week, I want you to have for breakfast. So not breakfast, lunch. Have your Branston pickle on some cornflakes, and then go out and play with your frisbee or whatever it's called.
It's my wing stick.
Wing stick.
Yeah.
And just have a fucking ball.
Listen, it sounds brilliant. Sounds brilliant.
There you go.
Like, I am all for getting all jars of Branston pickles sent to my house. My father is a massive fan. He buys them every fucking week, and I eat it with cheese sandwiches. It is great.
Oh, yeah.
Branston for life. Before hashtag Branston for life. Before we leave, I want to just give you a story. It's a very quick story.
Yes, I was going to ask about this because you did mention, so I'm looking forward to it.
So I want to see what people are saying about this, right? And what are you saying about it? This week I was in work. Now, I work in like a coffee shop, and it's like pretty chill. It's all great, right? It gets really busy. And I had an interesting interaction with a customer who came into the shop and goes, I went, "Hi, how are you?" And she replied with, "I'm very good." And I was like, "That's brilliant." But then she kind of went a little bit further with the conversation by commenting on my looks. And she said to me that you're a very handsome man. And I just kind of went, "Oh yeah, Jesus, thanks very much." You know what I mean? Like you don't. This doesn't happen all the time for me. It doesn't happen for a lot of people all the time. But you know, when it comes around every once in a blue moon, you kind of go, "What way do you take it on?" First off, do you know, you just kind of, you're not going to turn and go, "Fuck you." Like, I'm not going to just, I'm just going to say that. So I'm just kind of awkwardly going, "Oh, cheers, thanks so much." Yep. Now, the space between us is very little. There's a counter, but like we're in close like proximity of each other.
Yep.
And she then goes, "You've such lovely eyes." And I was like, "Yeah, cool." Now, two of my colleagues were working with me, and they were kind of hearing what was happening, and I was kind of like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And there was like, the place was really busy. Now that's grand, and we can leave it there. But Jesus, what happens next is just fucking mind-blowing. As I turn having this conversation, she slowly lifts her right hand, her arm up, and extends it over the counter and grazes the side of my face.
What?
Now,
what?
This hand stayed on my face for at least 3 seconds. Now, those 3 seconds felt like 3 years, because I did not know what was happening, right? Now, I was trying not to be rude. I was trying just to figure out what was happening. But you know, I'm not going to just move my face away abruptly, which would be normal. It'd be a normal thing to do, but do you know,
customer service. You can't be rude.
I just got awkward at the same time, right? But the best part about it was when she did this, and my face is resting in her palm, the palm of her hand. I looked to the left, out of the corner of my eye, to see like this other couple sitting down enjoying their lunch and having a coffee, right? And they were looking with their jaws to the fucking floor, and I was just kind of going, "Yep, this is happening."
Oh my god!
So my question to everyone is, how do you feel about getting touched on the face like that? Has it ever happened to you? What way would you react?
I've never had someone touch my face. I've had someone try and touch me somewhere else.
Well, hey!
And I'm not going into some repressed childhood memory here. I was at I find it fucking weird unless I know them.
Yeah, Chris, it absolutely is weird.
Or I'm planning on if it's Lauren, that's fine because she's my wife. But if it's a stranger touching me, I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
I'm just there trying to be like, what do I do? What do I do? Like, what do I do? Like, it just happened so fast. Like, we were only getting to know each other. Do you know what I mean? And next minute, the hand, it was so...
How old are we talking?
We're talking now, like, early 50s.
Right, okay.
Like, and I mean, it was the situation of, like, when her arm came up, do you know that Instagram fucking thing that goes dun dun dun? Like, that happened in my head, And then as her arm extended towards my face, the Jaws theme tune happened. So it was just dun 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 dun. And I just did not know.
Did you see her okay? Was she on her own?
Well, no. That was
What?
Like her person that she was with was on a different table outside.
What?
But I don't know. Like, look, at the end of the day, maybe this is just how she rolls. Like, she's being an honest person.
No one rolls like that, mate. No one just touches some stranger's face.
I wouldn't mind, but it's a fucking hairy face too. I don't know why you want to put your hand on it. But like, yeah, do you know, it was quite a start to the week. That happened on like
experience.
My first shift of the week as well. So I was just a bit like, well, this is new. But yeah, let me know. What are you doing with? Like, would you rather a Pringle sandwich or a stranger touching your face?
Oh, strangers touching my face, mate.
Would you really?
I pretty much prefer anything.
Are you still there? Are you still... Think about this.
Yeah. If it's a case of someone grazing my face for 3 seconds or eating that
Dude, I'm telling you now, when it's a stranger, it doesn't feel like 3 seconds. I'm telling you right now.
I know, mate, but the thought of doing what you do makes me feel sick.
What do I do?
You know what you did, all right? The fact that you regurgitate into 2 Pringles...
There's no regurgitating. I'm sorry. It's simply just...
All right, well,
fall.
Regardless, you've got your own...
I'm not like a fucking crow feeding or fucking... You know what happens to that? It's like Dumb and Dumber does that or something. Jim Carrey does that.
Yeah.
Ace Ventura, that's who it is.
Yeah, mate, it's still grim. I'm sorry.
So you'd rather a stranger touch your face?
Yes, I would.
So any person in the world come up to you and touch your face, you're going to be okay about it?
Not any person, no. It'd have to be...
What if you're in work all day long, and for one whole shift, there's a sign on the fucking counter saying, feel free to touch Chris White's face throughout the duration of today. Or you can just eat a Pringle sandwich there and then.
Yeah, but you're saying... Like, you're offering up anybody can come and touch my face, so I get multiple people touching my face. I thought it was just one person or one Pringle sandwich.
I'd still go Pringle sandwich, man. Like,
you would.
But like the thing is, you gotta you can't not like you like this is an experience unlike anything else. I could not believe what was happening.
No, I can imagine it being pretty horrific.
Thank you.
You feel violated.
Yeah, like, it's not like I'm not like a tender fucking fella who's going to be like all up in a heap going, whoa, I can't believe that happened. I'm just confused.
Yeah.
Like, the words were more than enough. I didn't need a pat on my cheek.
Yeah.
Face cheek. That, like, and that's that. But yeah.
I had, when I worked a long time ago, I was 18, I just started work in like a proper job. One that I've kept for more than a year. And this drunk woman, I was like an usher at an old cinema chain, and I was just opening because she came out the screen trying to find a way around, and she bumped into me, and she was like, oh, could you help me find my friends? And she was like proper drunk, and I was like, yeah, do you know where they might be? And she went, oh, they might be in here. And she grabbed my hand and led me into a screen where this was like about 10:30 at night, and the film in the screen had stopped playing, so we're literally in pitch black. And she was like, "Oh, are we where my friends are?" I was like, "No, we're not. There's nothing in here." So I quickly led her out, and she went, "Oh, I can't find them. My boyfriend was waiting with me as well." And I was like, "Shit!" So I just kind of went, "No, they're probably outside. Bye," and I ran off. Like, so, strangers touching is never a good thing.
That's what I'm saying, man. Do you know?
Unless you're single and ready to mingle and you kind of think there's a bit of chemistry, yeah, why not? But when it's someone you don't know who completely randomly touches your face, no, it's not right. Yeah. And I'm sorry you feel that way. You shouldn't feel violated in that way. And I know we're laughing about it, Adam, but, you know, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Like, I'm okay. I'm just saying, you know.
But I'm here.
Pringle sandwich. Or face touch.
Face touch. Every time.
You'll change your mind one of these days.
I won't.
You will.
I'll let anything touch my face.
Okay.
I'm never eating that. And on that note, you know, we'll say goodbye. But before we do, Patreon time. So everyone knows that we have got a Patreon page, patreon.com/GodIsAGeek, and you know, I kind of tend to always tell you why you should back it, but I know Adam feels just as strongly, and I would wonder if you just like kind of say why people should just help us out with Patreon, Adam, if you don't mind.
Yeah, like we already have people who support us, and it goes a long way. And I know this shit sounds like repetitive, and you hear it from other podcasts. Everyone does this stuff. We're our own group, and we personally want to do this all the time. We want to go to events. All of this pays for those things. We want to do more podcasts. Like even video podcasts. We all want to be in the same room. We are in the same room, but we want to be in the same room all the time.
Yeah.
To do this, and we personally feel if we can get that time to let us do these things, the content that we'll deliver will definitely be worth it. And I completely mean that. And I'll even come to your house and make you your very own Pringle sandwich. Like, that's
top tier Patreon.
That's how loyal we are. But no, on a serious note, it does help us, and we are just always wanting to do this. We look forward to it every week. Everyone puts a lot of work in. As I said, you've heard it before. We do have to keep saying, because we do get new listeners all the time. So for anyone that has supported us and is still supporting us, thank you so much. And that, honestly, that is the most sincere thing ever. Like it is just amazing that those people can help us like to this point. The site is constantly growing for us, and we do always want to like keep it there and deliver entertaining content for everyone. So spread the word if you can. There is already people out there who are doing it, and thank you very much for that again. Tell your friends, listen to the podcast, just share the love, and we hope that we'll always have the bents.
Awesome. Yeah, couldn't say it about myself. Yeah, and you can follow us all on Twitter. Follow the website at God is a Geek. You can follow me at First Avenger 83. You follow Adam at Adam Zokes. You can go and badger everyone else as well. Gary's on there. Blue Fury 47. Jubis F is for Adam Cook. Nicholas at Wavy_Gravy. Yeah, get on there. Hound us, ask us questions, chat. I know, like Adam says, that we've made a lot of friends from our patrons, and
yeah,
like they're a great bunch, and we want to make some more friends. So that was really cheesy.
No, but, it's not, man. It's not, because this
it's a family. It does feel like, I'm going to really stupid
100%.
But it feels like a family, and you know, this site has changed my life, and it will do the same for a lot of other people. We're just guys who just want to write and have a laugh about games. Yeah. There's no malice, there's no hidden agendas. We do this because we love it.
Every single person is welcome to the God is Geek Camp.
Absolutely.
And just come in and just join, have fun, get to know us. We hope someday we can actually all even... It would be amazing to meet up, like, with even the people that support this site, and like just have drinks and stuff like that. Like, it's a bit off, but you know, it's always possible. This shit can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that's been the podcast, guys. So thank you all for listening. Adam, thanks for joining me, mate.
Absolutely, man.
And everyone out there, take care. Bye bye.